My name is Bill Hetherington. I'm the General Manager and CEO of Bandera Electric Cooperative, and I want to thank you for coming. Today I'm going to go over some of the details of the changes to our electric rates. My comments will be broken down in four areas. First, I'm going to outline the specific details of the rate change. Second, I'll go over some of the factors that are impacting the cost of delivery of electricity and the electricity market here in Texas in general. Third, I'll go over the process that we use to evaluate electric rates in the electric utility industry. And finally, I will outline some of the efforts to minimize financial impacts and improve services that we've made over the last 10 years. First, our last rate change was in April of 2013. So that we have more than 10 years without a rate increase. I joined BEC in June of 2013. Over 90% of our membership is single-phase residential customers. The average electric usage of a residential customer is 1,238 kilowatt hours, and today that average bill is $134 a month. Assuming no change in behavior, this bill will increase to about $152 a month. That's about $18 or 13%. There are three aspects to make up your electric bill: the availability charge, distribution and delivery, and energy. The availability charge captures the costs associated with making electricity available. The electric service wires, the poles, the metering equipment, the transformer, and basically it's a fixed amount per month. That amount, the availability charge for residential customers, will increase from $25 a month to $30 a month. And for commercial customers, primarily three-phase small commercial customers, this change will go from $35 to $42.50 per month. The distribution and energy charges captures the cost of generating, transmitting, and distributing energy, and it is volumetric, meaning the cost you pay is related to the amount you consume, and it is measured in kilowatt hours. The distribution and energy charge will go from 8.9 cents to 9.9 cents per kilowatt hour, roughly 1 cent per kilowatt hour, 10%. We will also be incorporating a power cost adjustment mechanism to account for future wholesale electric changes. This allows us to minimize the risk of future electric rate changes. On July 1st, BEC will start seeing higher wholesale energy costs. These costs are used as the basis in determining how much we pay for generation for our residential and solar customers. Later this month, we will be recommending to our board that we increase the price we pay to purchase energy from our residential solar customers from 4.29 cents a kilowatt hour to 4.72 cents a kilowatt hour. Again, another 10%. The other rate classes, including large power, commercial, irrigation, lighting, will all see similar increases. All of these rates will go into effect on August 1st, 2023. So what are the factors that are contributing to impact the cost of electric energy delivery? I'd like to go over several of them. First, load growth. We've experienced a 21.4% growth in membership and load over the last 10 years. And to accommodate this growth, and improve grid reliability, we've invested more than $100 million in electric assets, reflecting a 48% increase in asset growth. The second factor is wages. According to the U.S. Department of Labor, the average wage growth over the last 10 years has been 31.2%. More than 18% of that has been since 2021. You may recall the Great Resignation. The Great Resignation was one of the factors that has created a sudden spike in wages. The third factor is the recent economic turmoil resulting in increased inflation. So since 2013, the inflation rate has increased prices on average by more than 29%, which we see every day. Every time we go to the store, eggs up 49%, bacon up 38%, milk up 18.2%. In the last 3 years, we have seen inflation jump by 18%. We had COVID, which shut down businesses and disrupted our supply chain. followed by hyperinflation caused by the lack of supply, followed by interest rate increases to stem the inflation. All of these events created a sudden and substantial financial impact to our industry. The electric utility industry is not immune to the effects of inflation, interest rates, or supply chain disruption. We have seen ERCOT transmission costs increase 100% in the last 4 years. We have seen distribution transformers increase 70% in the last 6 months alone. And delivery times on this equipment has gone from a few weeks to several months. The next factor is energy. We have seen the wholesale electricity market prices jump 15.8% in the last 18 months as the wholesale electric market becomes much more volatile as a direct result of Winter Storm Uri. In February 2021, Winter Storm Uri struck, inflicting more than $18 million of extraordinary costs on BEC. Your board of directors made a courageous decision to absorb these costs by reducing equity instead of asking you to pay for these costs. Most every other electric utility in the state passed these added costs directly onto their customers, which is why our electric rates are currently more than 21% below the electric rates charged by utilities in Texas. Even after this rate change, BEC's electric rates will be estimated 10% below the average electric cooperative rate in Texas. Based on these factors, in late 2022, we retained an independent electric rate design firm to evaluate our electric rates. Virtually all electric utilities use outside experts to evaluate and advise them on electric rates and structures. This independent electric firm uses a process to evaluate electric rates known as a cost of service study. This process is widely accepted as a best practice within our industry. The process is rigorous and methodical and balances the financial needs of the cooperative with the needs of the members. It is a process that ensures fair and non-discriminatory rate structures. It is a process that is consistent and defendable in both method and results. The results of this process showed that BEC needs to adjust their electric rates. After careful review and consideration, the Board of Directors approved a resolution in April to adjust the electric rates effective August 1st, 2023. I am proud of the accomplishments that BEC has made over the last 10 years, which I will identify. First, in cost savings. We've diversified our wholesale suppliers, which have allowed us to realize a power cost savings of $5.71 million since July of 2018. We retained 2 process improvement consultants from USAA to help us improve our processes, resulting in improved cost on our work orders, as well as improving the member experience. As an example, in 2017, we had 99 employees in the electric operations and 34,000 electric meters. That's basically 352 meters for every employee. Today, we have 110 electric operations, but we have 40,000 meters. That means we have now 363 meters per employee. We also have developed ApolloWare, which has enabled us to take advantage of the USDA RESP program, which is the Rural Energy Savings Program, allowing us to re-lend money for energy efficiency improvements behind the meter in the home. To date, in the last 2 years, we have loaned out $8.5 million to our members to help them reduce cost. And those cost reductions have been up to 25%. We have deployed smart grid technologies using the same fiber optic network that we use to deliver broadband. We've done this to automate the electric system to improve our ability to isolate and restore outages quicker. It's also allowed us to improve the communication when outages do occur. With respect to revenue generation, we are providing alternative energy options, such as solar and energy storage, and lastly, by bringing affordable and reliable high-speed internet access to our membership. We were able to accomplish all of these without raising our electric rates. While no one enjoys paying more for electricity, We do offer several optional rates and programs specifically to help our members reduce their electric costs. These include our time-based usage residential rate, which is a variable energy rate based on the time of day and season. The data suggests that the residential members on this rate can save 10% over the traditional flat residential rate. We also offer the Energy Saver program, as I mentioned earlier, which allows you to save up to 25% by improving the efficiency of the appliances in your home. They are financed over 10 years, and I think the current interest rate is 1%. We offer payment options as well, including budget billing, levelized billing, and prepay for those members who want more control over their energy payments. This rate change will enable us to meet the growing demand for electricity and to continue our efforts on improving the reliability of the grid. It will allow us to continue to meet the needs of the member with respect to quality customer service, and it'll allow us to continue to be strong contributors to the communities we serve. Thank you very much, and I will now answer your questions.
See, it's not mentioned in the structure sheet about the generation, what the rate change is on generation. Going back, did you say that was going down?
No, it's going up. No, it's going from 8.8 cents per kilowatt hour to 9.8 cents per kilowatt hour. And on solar generation, it's going from 4.29 to 4.72. So as the energy for generation goes up, so will be the price we pay for residential solar.
Okay, you're going to hold it? Yes. Yeah, I'm Ed Nowak. I wish I had brought the magazine with me because I read your letter in the magazine, and it's what I remember from it was that the part of the rate that is going up had a lot to do with making sure we have reliable energy supplied to the customers of Bandera Electric. If that's true, what in particular can BEC do to improve reliability as opposed to what we depend on ERCOT and some of the things at the state level?
Right. Very good question. So, yeah, as the rates are evaluated by the cost of service study, they look at basically the costs of, are these fixed assets, are they volumetric? So those rates, whether it's distribution delivery or availability or energy, are all kind of valued by this consultant, and they establish those rates. The short answer to your question is we're working on, first off, as a result of Winter Storm Uri, we have to now file winterization plans. We've gone through our entire distribution network. We use automation and technology, the same technologies that we use to deliver broadband, to help get better understanding of what areas are overloaded or what areas need to be improved. And so we have done that. We have winterized our system, and we are now much better prepared for the event of a wintertime event, which is a much more of a threat than a summertime event. You know, before Uri, we were all focused on, can we get through the summer? And what Winter Storm Uri told us is we have more vulnerability here in Texas during the wintertime. So we have changed how the way we manage and operate our electric system in the wintertime differently than we do in summer to accomplish it. But the use of technology and automation is what we're doing to basically reduce that risk. Thanks, Ed.
Hello, I'm Brenda Snyder. I live in District 4. I was just curious as to which consulting firm performed your cost of service study?
Guernsey.
That's a good one.
You should be familiar with Guernsey.
I'm very familiar with it. The other question is, I guess it's rate increases for electricity 101, that you never implement a rate increase during one of your high usage months. Since it's been 10 years, which is remarkable, that we've had a rate increase, why on earth would you do it in August?
Well, Brenda, let me tell you, I wish you would tell LCRA that, because LCRA is raising our rates substantially on July 1st.
That goes to your energy. That's not your
That's the energy.
distribution charge.
I understand, but quite frankly, you understand how much the energy impacts the revenue, okay? And so the longer you wait, your financial numbers, as you may know, don't look too good.
You could wait 10 years, but not 2 more months. Just curious.
No, I appreciate, I understand that.
Anything to do.
Well, I understand that, and I mean, I would think that traditionally August is a hot month, but given the recent wet summers we've had, hot, cold, rain, not rain, I'm not so sure August is going to be hot. They're saying it's going to be a strong El Nino, which means rain and cooler, but they're weather forecasts, so I don't know. We'll see.
No one can they can't forecast the weather tomorrow.
No. Thanks, Brenda. It's good to see you.
Okay, I have a lot of questions, so I'll ask one.
Okay.
And I'll wait. First of all, what are the total number of members of BEC?
The total what?
The total membership of BEC?
The-
Not meters, but
Right.
members.
The total membership, I believe, is about 29,000 members,
Okay.
plus or minus. I mean, it's in that area.
Anybody else have a question?
You can ask all your questions. No, that's
I
fine.
think it's a good rule. I do. I think it's a great rule. So
Well, after Bandera last night, we had to say, okay.
No, I think it's a good, I think it's a great.
We had a couple people who just, okay, that's.
Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
so the reason, I'm going to tell you the reason I asked the question. We have 12,000 fiber members, so you've got about a third of your membership covered. And the other question I have is I don't understand how maybe the fiber and the electric running mixes together.
Yep.
So when I look at your availability charge, it actually, from what I calculated, went up 20%. Is any of that poles, wires, is any of that in what you presented tonight, including the fiber wiring and poles that have
No.
that?
In fact, in 2019, there's a state law, so we are prohibited, strictly prohibited from cross-subsidizing, okay? So we cannot use electric rates to do fiber anymore, period.
Those poles and what you called about the generating cost. No, wait, that's distribution. The service wires, the availability charge.
Right, those are the service drops to your house to make
kind of-
electricity available,
What
yes.
kind of things did you use to decide to bump that 20% up? I'm just curious.
Again, we rely on the consultants, Guernsey, to tell us how much it should be. They look at the cost of transformers, the meters, that service wire, the poles. They look at the individual components
All right, I
that make that up.
misunderstood. I thought
Since
that
it's a
was just
fixed asset,
electricity.
since it's a
Okay.
fixed asset, like a house,
Right.
they look at it as should be charged as a monthly charge, just like you would pay like
It was more the
mortgage.
increase. I knew you looked at them for the electricity. I didn't know if you also, if that firm
They
also looked at.
No, they looked at everything, and they look
Okay.
at how our load profile is, and they establish how the cost should be allocated. That's why we hired them, is because they're experts on how those costs should be allocated. We're really not. I mean, that's a nuanced, very specialized skill.
Okay, then, anybody else? Okay, keep going, okay. The other thing that I was looking at, let's see, I wrote so many things down. You said you loaned, because we are a co-op, so we loaned $8.5 million to people for improvements. And did you say that interest rate on that was 1%?
1%.
Did you even consider about increasing that?
Well, the program's
I'm just-
really,
I mean,
the pro.
I'm not
the-
trying to be ugly,
No,
but-
no, that's a very good question.
Okay.
Originally, it was 0%.
Right.
Okay, it was 10 years at 0%. The intent of the program was to get people to help them replace windows, air conditioners. The goal was to help them save money. So it's kind of counterproductive if I'm now going to charge you and just become a bank and start making money on interest for the benefit of the co-op.
Well, I do understand that, but have you done a study on the return on that investment?
Yeah.
As far as electrical use, is there,
Becky wants to answer.
okay.
Okay, Becky.
So, we actually get the money at 0% from our US through the REST program.
Okay.
So that's why we pass it through. We did increase it 1% to cover some additional admin costs.
Okay.
But yeah, the money comes to us, it's a pass-through from the federal government that we reloan it back out. As the member pays it back, we turn around and pay it back to our US. So there's no cost to the membership. The admin cost is covered by, there's a 5% program fee
Okay.
plus the 1% interest to cover those costs.
Okay, thank you. I think that's pretty much.
Thanks, Becky.
I would.
You do it much better than I do.
Yeah, that was that's exactly what I was wondering. Anybody else? I'm writing notes. So the last thing I would ask kind of goes back to, and if we can do it, if you don't want to talk about that tonight, it's fine, but the fiber.
Yeah.
I mean, no offense, but I'm one of those people that are 3 miles from your new tech center that still don't have it.
Yeah.
And we're promised it will be in the house at the end of July, and I hate to tell you, I'm
So
not
the-
feeling that since I see nothing going on.
I'm going to call on Shane Schmidt
So
right
I'm going
here.
to leave it at that. Thank you.
Yes, this guy is the guy that you need to talk to.
So just so you know.
Come on, Shane.
I don't know how GVTC still operates as a co-op, and I went to a meeting a long time ago, 10 years with them, promising us the same thing, which we still don't have, and I had to drop them because 2 megabytes didn't do anything. And guess what? At that meeting, when I spoke up, someone said, come talk to me. And guess what happened? Nothing. So I'm just saying.
Yeah. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Well, thank you again for coming. I appreciate it. You know, if you do, oh, Mr. Yes.
Real, in the association to the crowd here, is there anybody else here who's a solar customer, got solar? I want to talk to you guys. I got one.
A question? Come on up.
When I first joined the co-op, there was no such thing. There was no meter charge, availability charge, whatever. Then all of a sudden, it was $25. Now it's going to be $30.
Yeah.
Okay?
Hmm.
How long does it take to pay for that transformer? It stays there, it doesn't go anywhere.
No, I think that's a good question. I think that my recollection is we did have a charge, but we didn't call it an availability charge. There was a monthly fee, because I think when the co-op started, it was like $5 a month, and back in the late 30s and early 40s, because they said, well, we have to have a guarantee that you're going to pay every month so that you can borrow money from the government. I don't know what they called it, but back then, but there's always been that monthly fee. Oh, it's called a minimum thing. Okay. Okay. Kathy's probably not, yeah, so, yeah. Anything else? All right, well, thank you very much for coming out, and appreciate it.